What up, everybody? It's Trims by Cartier, and in this particular video I'm going to show you guys my process of doing a lineup. Now, I already did the actual haircut or the fade or whatnot, so in this particular video I'm just going to be showing you guys how I do my lineup. So I start out by getting some shaving foam, shaving cream, whatever you want to call it, and I put it on the areas that I'm actually going to be lining up. The reason why I do this is to clean the area that I actually want to line up. It helps to exfoliate the skin, and it helps to get rid of the dirt and the oils that is on the skin. So I'm going to lay the client back to make them more comfortable, and then I'm going to get a warm steam towel and I'm going to lay it over the client's face. And this actually gives a relaxing feel to the service. You can actually add this to your service for more value, to make the client feel like they're receiving more than what they're actually paying for. So that actually helps out a lot. And those who are looking to grow your clientele, this can be one of the main keys that'll help you to grow your clientele, because a lot of barbers don't use this particular technique. I've only seen a few do it, but this will actually add more value, and it'll make it harder for the client to go to another barber simply because of this one technique. So after I wipe the client's, After I wipe the client down, I'm going to add Spritz. The reason why I use Spritz is to hold the hair in place. Whenever you use clippers or trimmers, the vibration from the blades moving back and forth at a rapid motion, it'll cause a vibration. And sometimes you'll try to cut hair, and what'll happen is the hair will be moved out of the way due to the vibration. So to minimize that, I use Spritz or a holding spray to keep the hair in place when I get ready to cut it. All right, so when you're using your trimmers, you want to have a light touch. You don't want to dig into the skin, because that could cause razor burns and discomfort for the client. So the main thing you want to do is be as light as possible and you want to make sure that you have your trimmer set properly. Any overlapping of the blades can cause you to cut the client. So whenever you modify your blades on your trimmers, you need to make sure that it's not overlapping the steel blade. These moving blades are very sharp, and you need to keep that in mind. And you don't want to cause your client to have a razor burn at the end of the day. So make sure that your touch is being light and that you have your trimmers properly set. And you need to make sure that your trimmer blade is not hot. Some of these trimmers, the blades or whatnot, depending on the blades, they'll get hot fast, and some of them can contain the heat. So you need to be mindful of how hot your blades are and how close that you have them set, so that you can make sure that you can guarantee that the client has a comfortable experience. All right, when it comes to this area right here on the side, what you want to make sure you're doing is using the corner of your blade like a pencil to kind of trace that round shape out, and then go back and use your whole blade to solidify that line. You have to use your trimmer like a pencil, and most importantly, you have to imagine the shape before you actually, place the trimmer blade on this particular area, because you want to make sure that you have something in mind and that you have that goal in place. Because if you're not using the clipper or trimmer with intent, you're going to make a mistake. So you need to imagine the outcome first and then work toward that. And to ensure that a line is put in place, don't just go over it one time and that's it. You need to go over it multiple times to ensure that that line is solidified. And make sure you're using your comb as well and combing the hair in the direction that it flows to make sure that the hair doesn't go over the line. This will ensure that when the client goes home and take a shower, the hair won't go over the lineup that you just did, making it seem as if the client didn't even get a haircut. So make sure that you're using your comb and your trimmers and going over the area multiple times. So for this front lineup, I always start in the middle and I go over to your left or the client's right. I try to make sure that one side is already complete so that when I go to the other side, I have something to match it to. And the reason why I don't go from one end all the way to the other end is because you're more likely to not have a straight front line if you do it that way. So I normally start in the middle, go back to the left, the client's right, and then I'll turn the chair and work on the other side. I'll try to get the other side to match the side that I already have complete. And even when I do that, I still go back and double check and make sure that I get all the hair that needs to be cut before I move on to the next thing. And another thing to keep in mind too is most clients don't want a crazy sharp lineup like that. They just want to keep their hairline as natural as possible, or for you to sharpen up the natural hairline that they have. A lot of clients don't like enhancements either, but it is wise to know how to use enhancements. But every client that you get is not going to prefer enhancements. So even before you start using enhancements, you need to master doing a natural lineup first before you start depending on enhancements. And enhancements aren't used to cover up mistakes. They're used to enhance the haircut at the end of the day. All right, so using the razor is very important. I believe that if you don't know how to use a razor, you're really not a barber. That's my honest opinion. That's just my opinion now. Leave me alone. But at the end of the day, you still need to know how to use it. So the technique that I'm using is with the hand that doesn't have the razor, I'm firmly pulling the skin, and the hand with the razor, I'm pulling back with the razor in the opposite direction. The reason why you want to pull the skin kind of firm is because if the skin is not tight enough, you'll end up cutting the client with the razor, and you don't want to do that. To make sure that you have, the leeway for the razor to move, you need to pull the skin to the point where the razor just slides back. You need to hold your razor at least a 45-degree angle when you're pulling it back. And also make sure that you have the razor firmly placed in your hand, because if you slip, you can potentially cut the client as well. So you need to make sure that you have the proper technique. Using both hands at the same time and not just using one hand to cut with the razor, because cutting with one hand is not recommended with using the razor at all. So just make sure you guys get the wisdom in learning how to use a straight razor. Because like I said, if you aren't knowledgeable in using a straight razor, I don't even consider you a barber. At that point, you just good at cutting hair. So this will actually give you a one-up on the competition, because nowadays a lot of barbers don't use razors. They kind of stay away from them. But this will actually give you an edge, because some clients are actually looking for barbers who know how to use a straight razor. So that's my recommendation on the straight razor. I am going to do another video explaining how to use a razor step by step, so stay tuned for that. All right, and after the razor, I'm gonna go behind that with an electric razor to get all the hair that's around the lineup, to make the skin more smooth, to give the client that fresh cut look and whatnot. And to keep in mind that you always need to go behind yourself with cleaning up as a barber, because that will actually help your haircuts to look better. So just keep that in mind. All right, that's pretty much the cut. I appreciate y'all for watching and staying tuned to the content. There's more on the way. If y'all want to learn anything, just hit me in the comments and let me know, and I'll be sure to hook that up for y'all. I appreciate all the likes, comments, and subscriptions or whatnot. Y'all share, like, do what you gotta do. I really appreciate it.